I'm a perfectionist. I can't believe it. Guys, I usually come prepared and everything. I'll fudge it. Anyhow. Hi, everyone. Welcome to My Wage and Notice vlog. It's been a year, but I'm back. And I have a writer and author with me today. Everyone, welcome Chelsea Monique Kilpatrick. Welcome.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you today, Chelsea?
I'm good. Happy to be chatting with you. Excited
Aww.
to be on your blog. So yeah, let's get
Yay.
into it.
All right. So go ahead, please, Chelsea. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Yes, so my name is Chelsea Monique Kilpatrick. I am a writer and author of Alas. I'm currently residing in Brooklyn, New York, but I always say I'm very much
Brooklyn.
shout out to Brooklyn. But I always say I'm very much Atlanta, very much woo woo. Not just
Peaches.
and, very much Georgia Peach. But I'm not just a writer and author. I just am an all around creator. I'm an educator. So yeah, that's me.
Gotcha. I'm glad you're here, Chelsea. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Now, of course, you mentioned yourself as a writer. So, what inspired you to write at a young age?
Okay, so there are two main things when I think about my inspiration. In middle school, I actually found the collected poems of Langston Hughes just around the
Okay.
house. Yeah, my mom had it around the house, and I would just like read through it, and it was very interesting to be in middle school, reading about racism and capitalism and all these things from the perspective of Langston Hughes, who writes such
Mhm.
beautiful prose and poetry. He definitely romanticized and, was able to communicate these deep, deep issues and trials and tribulations in such, like I said, a beautiful way. So I was definitely inspired by
Mhm.
that. So I started writing, and my mom saw that I, was scribbling in my little
Mhm.
notebook. Um, and she
Right.
asked me, yeah, she asked me, do you want to go talk to someone, a
Mhm.
professional, not me? And I said
Right.
yes. And then I started going to therapy. She took me to therapy. I started going to a therapist, told them what I was doing, and my therapist was like really impressed. She was like, "Oh, you have this outlet that you chose independently. No one told you to do this thing."
Right.
And she told me to keep doing it. She definitely encouraged me to keep writing. And that's what I did. I never thought about being a writer or an author. I just was just trying to get my feelings out.
Right, right. And I can relate to that too, because of course I'm a writer, but just blogging, but still,
Hmm.
it always start with a journal. It's always, start with a thought and what you experienced from,
Hmm.
as a kid and all the way to become an adult. So, and always be a mom
Hmm.
too. My mom, she witnessed it too, so that I can understand.
Yeah, shout
And
out
then
to my
also,
mom.
aw, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Now, going back about being an author for your book, Alas, poetry collection, what was your
Mhm.
vision for your book, and how did it come fruition? Like, how did it came about, basically?
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I feel so bad about this. I call my book my baby. It's just like my baby who I birthed. But initially the vision was just to get out these pieces that had been kind of clogging up my creative airways, so to speak. Like it was taking up creative space
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. It was taking up space emotionally, physically, in my
Yeah.
hard drive. So I was just like, okay, I just need to
Right.
get this out so I can focus on other creative projects. So
Mm-hmm.
initially, like I said, for a long time, it was just moving out, these
Mm-hmm.
creative pieces to make space. But now it's so interesting that, this work I'm so far removed from, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to find new ways to creatively explore the Alas
Mhm.
era. So going back to your question, my vision was just to create a work of art that people could connect to,
Right.
that people could feel impacted by, and kind of just disconnect as my for myself, detach and disconnect from it and move on. But now
Mhm.
I feel like the vision is much bigger because I'm still kind of sitting in the Alas era. I'm still co-creating with my past self and finding, like I said, new ways to creatively explore what I can do with this book. So the vision was small in the beginning, but now I feel like it's been opening up like new pathways. So we'll
Okay.
see. The vision hasn't been completed. We'll see what else is
Okay, because
next.
that's what you said last era. I'm like, you still got it
Yes.
right, girl.
We in the last era. We sitting in the moment for a little bit.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of your book, which of course I have,
Shout out
I
to
do want
you.
to say this. Yes, yes, it's no, it's really good. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chelsea. You know, when I think about your book, I'm thinking about the singer Beyonce, and
Oh,
I think you
hold
might know what
on.
I'm talking about. One of her albums, if you know what I'm talking about, uh, Lemonade. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
think about your book because, of course,
Mm-hmm.
of what you experience. I'm not going to tell everybody everything. You guys got to get the
Gotta
book.
find the book. Gotta find the book.
But it reminds me of Beyonce with
Mm-hmm.
her infidelity issues with Jay-Z, how
Mm-hmm.
she, what the slogan they always say, um, oh my goodness, I can't remember. You know how they say something about you make lemonade,
Oh, make lemonade out of lemons.
lemons, right? And that's how I
Right?
feel with yours. And that's how I feel about your poetry book. I mean, of course you went through, experiences in life. Like I said, I'm not going to tell y'all everything. You guys got to read the poetry or intro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really like the book, and there are some, let's see, poetries I select that I will give you guys a little taste of Chelsea's work. um like for instance, The Cycle. uh I wish I could give you a happy ending, but I'm still waiting. Life doesn't work like the fairy tales, the medical TV dramas, the Netflix romantic comedies. The growing pains never seem to stop hurting, no matter how much life is lived. No matter how many times I grow in the same direction, it's still a process, and I'm constantly trying to process the succession of it all. Like, how did I end up here? Where did I go left when I should have gone right? Even my successes don't come without falling short. Somewhere, I really wish I could give a happy ending, then die happy. But time doesn't happen in a linear fashion, and some emotions take up more space for longer than I imagine. No happy ending, nor sad beginning. Just a place where peace and destiny meet with loving me, loving you, nonstop on repeat. So, yeah.
It's so funny because like I mentioned before, I'm so far removed from these pieces. So when people read them or
Mm-hmm.
when I read them again, I'm like, oh shit, I wrote that. Okay. I'm kind of
Right.
teleported back to a moment in time. And I think with
Gotcha.
singers, with writers, with anyone who puts out creative work, a lot of times people experience it and kind of have this moment of sympathy, or it's very sentimental. It's like, oh my gosh. And for us to put it out, I feel like for us as creatives to put this out, we have to be detached from it. Like some of these pieces are like
Exactly.
4 or 5 years old. Like I'm not this person anymore. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's nice to be able to sit back and experience it from a different level, from a different version of myself, and give myself grace and give myself love.
You should, and
The
flowers,
past,
yeah.
yeah, the past versions of me.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because I was gonna ask you, how do you feel from me reading your one of your poetry so far? So, but that's good
It's
that you
kind of
feel
emotional.
like you.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody read my piece. So
Oh, I'm glad. Well, I got one
yeah.
more. Let's see
Okay.
here. Inheritance. So. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. There's so many guys. I have listed every like poetry from Chelsea book, but it's like, you know, you guys have to get it. So, I feel like I have inherited this stress, and it's been compounded with interest. Ooh, I like that. Extra money.
But we don't want extra stress. We don't want extra stress.
There you go. Passed down through generations. Work stress, finance stress, romance stress, body stress, bloodline stress. Stress inherited from my bloodline. Stress in my blood, racing and churning. Stress in my sleep, tossing and turning. I pulled things in closer and pushed things down deeper to help make it easier to subdue the stress a little longer. I like that. That's very relatable, Chelsea. I think we all, gone through, you know, these type of situations in our life, and find, you know, the outer whole of things. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be so emotional, but
Oh my God,
just,
no. Give me all
yeah.
the emotions, okay?
Aww. I mean, this does really hit me though. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know some of y'all don't hear much about my personal life, but I mean, not saying it's bad. But I mean, we gone through things in life, where
Mm-hmm.
we stress ourselves out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we trying to give, time for people. We're
Mm-hmm.
either trying to work our best just to get by in life, and yeah, trying to sleep day by day and wake up for the next day, and just trying to do
Right.
better for the next, people that will be in our lives, future kids,
Oof.
future family members. And then life does cost a lot. That's why I said compound with interest, money.
Okay, okay. Yeah, when I think about
Yeah.
this, I think something that really sparked this piece was just
Mm-hmm.
learning how when our grandmothers are pregnant with our mothers, the
Right.
eggs, that the sperm will find and eventually produce us are already in her, like are already living in her body.
Oh yeah.
So we are like inheriting so much stress from past generations and coming into this world already embodying that without even having lived,
Mm-hmm.
without even having lived. So that
Right.
that stress that is not even our own that we come into this world with, compound it with the stress that you know becomes bestowed upon us. It's just a lot,
Mm-hmm. Right.
it's just a
Right.
lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. And no, what you're saying, of course, that's, what I thought of your poetry too. But just think about
Mm-hmm.
life in general. It's like I wasn't asked to be here, but I'm here. And it's like I'm trying to figure out what life is about. But I know from that generation, I got to do what's best for what I'm living now, and then think
Mm-hmm.
about my future kids, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Exactly.
how I'm thinking about it too. But it hit me, of course, like I, was trying to say, like, get up every day, go through all the what life experience that you've gone through, still
Mm-hmm.
gotta keep it moving. But again, think
Mm-hmm.
about the next person that you will have in your family or
Mm-hmm.
have in the future. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Life moves on.
yeah. Life moves on. Gotta keep moving. Gotta, keep the
Mm-hmm.
grind. And speaking of,
Unfortunately.
having additional like kids, so
Mm-hmm.
basically, Chelsea,
They're cute.
there's an article, right? There's an article from Milwaukee Independent. Basically, the article is called "Mental Health Obstacles: Why Not All Parents Support School Efforts to Get More Therapy for Students." And one of the quotes from the article mentioned as, let's see here. Usually I'm prepared, guys, but not today. But
It's okay. We
basically,
gonna
from
make it.
yes, especially when you're jet lagged from a day job. I'm just saying. But anyways, basically from the article, it states, as schools across the country respond to a youth mental health crisis, ulcerated by the pandemic. Many are confronting the thorny legal, ethical, and practical challenges of getting parents on board with treatment. The issue has become politicalized, with some states looking to streamline access as conservative politicians elsewhere propose further restrictions, accusing schools of trying to indoctrinate students and cut out parents. So, after reading that statement to you, Chelsea, what do you think about today's generation of kids facing mental health? And do you think, from what I read to you, that statement, um, do you think there's an issue for that to have? You know, um,
So I actually work in education.
okay.
So this is
Oh, okay.
something, yeah, I'm a special education teacher. So this is something that I am dealing with on the daily.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't know that, guys.
right. Just sprinkle.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is something that I face daily working with
Mm-hmm.
kids who have, mental illness, mental health issues. Um, I definitely feel like it's a situation where parents don't know how to approach it. A lot of the
Right.
parents are around our age, a little older, some younger.
Surprisingly,
So
right?
so it's difficult for them to understand like how to approach it. They're of the mind where they don't want to raise their kids the same way that they were raised, but it's still um, a touchy subject when it comes to mental health. I
Right.
I've worked in a multitude of different schools who have different
Mm-hmm.
viewpoints on this,
Right.
and I do think there is a need for a push for mental health services in schools across the board. Um, the same things that our students are going through now are the same things that we went through, the same things our parents went through, the same things future generations are going to go through. It's just through a different lens, right? It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the background may be different, the filter on top may be different, but the root of the issues will still remain the same. Students are dealing with anxiety, just like we were. Students are dealing with
Right.
um, low self esteem. Students are dealing with the inability to cope around peers. So again, these are the same issues that we're seeing repeated, in some ways exacerbated because of external factors, additional external factors like social media. And right now, like, we're in an economic crisis, right?
Do you
There's a
feel
war going.
like right? I'm sorry to cut you off, Chelsea, but do you feel like also like, of course, if a parent doing their job to raise their kids, do you feel like, why is someone else's trying to help my kid mentally? I'm here. Do you think that kind of comes to play where it's like they should be the role models in their minds, but it's like I don't want my kids to go to a therapist because it's just trying to get into their minds and tell them XYZ where I'm telling them ABC at home. Do you think that also comes to play when it comes to parents and their kids going to school and
I
you know
definitely think that could be a perspective. Um, right now, I work in an inner city school, a low income school, right? And I
mm-hmm.
feel like when it comes to that, parents just don't have the resources or the tools. Like, it's not
Okay.
a situation where oh, I can handle it. I can handle it. A lot of the parents will say to us, we don't know what to do either. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel personally that across the board, there needs to be a more communal way of raising children in our society. There needs to be a more holistic approach to mental health, um, and mental
Right.
wellness. So I mean, I can understand if a parent does have the tools and resources, like, they feel confident, they feel secure in being able to,
Right.
guide the mental health and wellness of a child. But in my position, I'm just not seeing a lot of parents feel like they have, that skill level to be able to do so.
Okay. Okay. And the reason I'm bringing that up again, now parents, I mean, back in our times, they're like, when you see a therapist, you have one,
I
it's
mean,
me. Or
I
or they feel like it's like that person is just telling you something that you should know, or those little excuses where it's like they don't see
mhm,
that mental health is, important. It is a crisis mentally. Cuz look what's
I
going on with
mean,
today's society where people shooting and robbing and killing innocent people or hurting
right,
innocent people, and that comes from adulthood, I mean from children to adulthood.
right. And I mean, we already have therapists in schools, and we have school counselors, we have
Mhm.
social workers. Like they are
Right.
doing, it might not be as formal as we experience when we go to our therapist and sit down and
Right.
do all these deep activities and skills and exercises, but it is a more age appropriate form of therapy, right?
Right.
um
Right.
and the bottom line is, we are all, okay, I work in special education, I would call myself an expert on this. We are all teetering on the line of something, right? Some diagnosis,
Right.
something is off, something is a struggle for us to participate
Mhm.
in society as is. The key and the thing that is most important is to have a healthy way to cope, a healthy outlet to deal with those struggles that we're experiencing, a way for each individualized student, each individualized child to be able to say, okay, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what has me off in this moment. This is how I can handle it. This is how I can adjust and bounce back.
Right. 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 Okay. Yeah. I mean, either way, mental health is important. I do advise for people to see a therapist, but of course, talk to someone that you feel that's trusted.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree, Chelsea?
I do agree, but I don't think therapy is the band-aid, the end all be all for everyone. Like I said,
Right.
it's not about, like, that's not the quick fix. That's not always the answer. Yes, it is the entry
Right.
point, but again, there needs to be healthy outlets. Like for me, writing, I didn't go to therapy from middle school up until now. There were breaks in between,
Mhm.
but writing was something that was always there for me, and an outlet that I always had, to deal with whatever mental health crisis that I was experiencing. So I think the
Mhm.
therapist is there to kind of guide you into independently being able to self-soothe and be able to identify what you need in a moment of struggle.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. And then let's see here. So, of course, as a writer, Chelsea, of
Mm-hmm.
course, we had the writer's strike a couple months ago. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you think screenwriters, do you think they're going to be okay or be challenged by the development of AI? So, what are your thoughts about that, Chelsea?
I mean, I think right now, if we look at history, technology has always
Hmm.
kind of challenged careers across the board, right? Just advancements
Right.
in technology. However, I feel like when it comes to creative works, it needs a soul, right?
Hmm.
It needs to be able to connect to the human experience, and I don't feel like AI can ever be able to do that. It can, copy.
Right.
It can, try to emulate, but it never will be the true source. Um,
Like, won't have that
not
human touch.
It won't have that human touch, and humans. I mean, if you are a true patron of the arts, right, you are experiencing an entertainment and art for the connection, right? The human experience connecting
Right.
to something. I mean, if you're just watching something for mindless, distraction, that's a different story. And there may be cases where AI is able to provide that. However, I don't think that that will put writers out, right? I don't think that that will,
Hmm.
totally um erase the need for a human to produce something for us to enjoy and experience. It may not be under those, big names, big companies. It may be something that
Right.
is done independently in a more communal way. Um, but it's always going to be a desire from the public consumers to have something that has a soul,
Right.
not by a robot.
Do you think that's kind of scary to see that in the future? Say what, 20, I don't know, 2040?
I mean, honestly, I feel like they've been priming us for something of this sort for so long through
Right.
entertainment, through entertainment and media. It's just like kind of thinking, okay, who will I be when this happens? Who will I be
Hmm.
when this is our world? Will I be the
Right.
one? Will I be the person who just succumbs and gives in and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna whatever? Or will I be the one kind of off the beaten path? Will I be the rebellious Aquarius?
There you
And
go.
right, the rebellious Aquarius.
Aquarius.
We are in the age of Aquarius. We are in the age
Fluid of
of
Aquarius. Yep.
rebellion. Like we're not sticking to the status quo. Like we're not giving in to that. So I think because of, you know, we are in the age of Aquarius and because
Hmm.
creatives are so soul connected, there will always be a space for us.
Exactly. I feel like there's gonna still be more stories untold pretty soon.
We'll
Definitely in
see.
the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, definitely.
That makes
And
people
then
not even
also,
want to be associated. Sorry. But it makes people not even
no,
want to be
no, go ahead.
associated. It makes people not even want
No,
to be
yeah,
associated. We're in the age now where it's so easy to just do your own shit. Like,
it really is. It really is. And
like,
then like the whole phase of like celebrities, we look at them as goddesses or gods, it's declining. And I feel
mm-hmm,
like more people are starting to be more authentic
mm-hmm,
and just rather have, you know, those type of people just want a normal life. I mean, the whole luxury phase is fading and
right,
all that, glitz and glam of imaginary of things is dying
mm-hmm.
down. So,
Right.
but
Not being able to walk down the street and just go to a Target or Trader Joe's is not the life I want.
mhm.
I want to be able to, I don't need to be incognito just trying to go to
Right.
the deli. Like that is just too much. I do agree there is a fall of celebrity culture right now. So I'm interested to see kind of the fallout, like what's next. Hmm.
Oh, I feel like there's more to tell that we don't know yet.
Right. It's like, okay, the plot thickens.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. And then Chelsea, last question here too. Now, if someone wasn't sure to seek help due to their mental health, or to heal, what would you say to that individual? What would you say, Chelsea?
I would definitely say seek help. Like I said, seek help. See where the root is, even if it's not, something that is forever. Like you don't need to see a therapist for years and years and years. Like
Right.
I'm not of the vein that that is like the answer. Like
I
I
mean,
think there
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I think that like I was saying earlier, there needs to be a kind of a way that you are able to quickly grab a way an outlet, grab something to
Mm-hmm.
self-soothe and to work through, what it is that you're struggling with. Um,
Right.
that's just how I feel about it.
Right. No, what you said earlier too, no, I don't think like therapy is the way to go, but like you said, an entry. But for someone like, say, like they're on social media or,
Mm,
being streamers or whatnot, and they're just trying to, use it as a way to cope, but it's kind of like, what I'm trying to say is like, it's nice to have someone too. Like if you can't afford a therapist or you don't feel comfortable to go to a therapist, like I mentioned, go to a friend or someone that you feel that's comfortable that can have a conversation. For example, I mean, I do go to a therapist, but yeah, it's costly.
It is costly.
But
Writing is free.
yes, it is writing. Other activities that you can do as well that can cope, with your, mental situations. Um, guys, I think this is not my day. They don't like my lights.
Wait, what happened?
I have no idea, but hey, guys, it's Aquarius season
Well,
to me.
we in right. I was gonna say you probably still celebrate it, but we're in Pisces season now. We're in
Pluto.
the
No, we're
we're in
Pisces
the
now. I say Aquarius because I'm Pluto, but
okay, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But no, but going back, my lights. But anyhow, um, going back. So yeah, therapy can be an entry. Of course, like Chelsea mentioned, you can write. Or other activities that can cope with your mental health. And also you can talk to someone. Like I have talked to someone that had to deal with a situation, so they were able to help me. So, but all those things and what Chelsea mentioned is a great way to, you know, cope your mental health. But anything else, Chelsea, in regards to that question?
no, I was just gonna say there's so many free resources online. When I think
Mm-hmm.
about a lot of the struggles that we experience when it comes to mental health, it and this is what you will learn in therapy, it all ties back to a childhood wound. So I think things that you gravitated to in childhood um, will help tend and nurture that kind of broken or hurt child. And I think that's what like writing has been for me. It's something that I gravitated towards as a child and
Right.
took some time away and, have always been able to return to because that's kind of what I naturally was drawn to as a child to do that thing. So I think
Mm-hmm.
as we explore and go through the journey of self discovery, it'll be a little more easier to figure out what it is, what the tools are that can assist you in those situations.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea. Forget my lights.
Oh my goodness, it's fine. You
Well,
look good, girl.
aw, thank you. Queen to a queen. Yes,
Oh my god,
ma'am.
yes.
I don't know, guys. This is the first time I ever do my blog, and I guess I'm at the point where it's like there's no perfectionist. So
There's no perfectionist. I told you before how the first edition of my book had. Ooh, they just fell down. The first edition of my book had a huge misprint, and I was just like, okay. I was depressed for a while, I'm not gonna lie. But then I was like, okay, second edition,
oh, yeah.
that never happened. We're back. So,
Exactly.
it is what it is.
Exactly. It it is what it is. But Chelsea, like I do at the end of my interview, I have a
Mm-hmm.
trivia.
Uh-oh.
I do
Okay.
all my interviewees. So I got trivia for you. And I'm gonna call it, even though I don't have my lights, but let me see if I can do it again for a moment. Trivia called Poetry Edition.
Okay.
So, Chelsea, are you ready?
I
Oh,
think
forget my
so.
lights. All right. Well, let's start. It's gonna be three
Mm-hmm.
questions. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Won't be hard. It won't be hard. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who was a key figure, novelist, poet for the Harlem Renaissance in New York in the 1920s?
I'm gonna
You
say
just talked
Langston
about him.
Hughes. I'm gonna say Langston Hughes. That's my
Yes.
dude. Yeah.
Yes. So that's 1 point for you, Chelsea. So yes, like one of his poetry, like "Let America Be America Again."
Mm-hmm. What happened to a dream
So,
deferred? Life ain't been no
oh,
crystal stair. Okay.
there you go. So yes, 1 point for you, Chelsea.
Okay.
And then
Woof.
next one here. another poet.
Oh
So
goodness.
call it Name This Poet. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
read it to you because it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's a classic. Ready? I'm going to read part of it.
Don't
And I think
embarrass
you're going to
me.
get this. No, I promise you, okay?
This is why I said I don't identify as a poet.
Oh. But you are a poet, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
Mm-hmm.
Out of the huts of histories, shame I rise.
Miss, gotta put the miss, or she will correct you from the grave. Miss Maya Angelou. Right, Miss Maya Angelou.
That is correct. 2 points, 2 points.
Okay. 3
And
for 3.
last
Let's see if we
one.
got 3 for 3.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is one of your favorites. Can you name the artist who is known for the songs Smooth Operator, Sweetest Taboo, and No Ordinary Love?
That will be
Or it's Taboo.
Miss Shade. That would be Miss Shade Adu. Well, Sade the band, but
Yes.
we know the
Yes,
head.
yes. 3 points, and you won.
Period. Always.
Yes. But I had a pleasure having you, Chelsea, and my lights. I can't believe it.
Thank you so much.
Guys, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist. I can't believe it. Guys, I usually come prepared and everything. I'll fudge it. Anyhow.
No, thank you
I
so
usually
much.
come
This was
prepared. I don't know
fun.
what it is.
It's okay.
Oh.
It's a Mercury retrograde happening somewhere. It must be what's going on with the technology.
It could be. Guys, I usually do everything. So. But no. I don't know why, but before you go, Chelsea, I don't know. How I started, and that, guys, I don't really talk about, how I started with my blog and everything, which I will talk about it more. But usually I will have everything professional and, get things done. But at the point now, I guess even now, I'm still starting my 30s. I don't know, I feel like everything just loose and start showing people who I truly am. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really want to show too much of my privacy or whatnot, but people like you, Chelsea, make me feel relaxed. Like, oh, who cares?
No, yeah, I
and
get
other
it.
people I've met in my life too. Like it's like, might as well.
It is
We're
what it
living
is.
like we talked
Okay.
about. Yeah, nothing is crystal clear like how celebrities are because now they're revealing. Who knows what other stories and other top dogs, figures gonna show out, but yeah.
See.
But I had a pleasure having you, Chelsea. Thank you. And guys,
Thank
hopefully you guys can
you.
see my light. Please get Chelsea's book. It's really good. Like I said, it's like Beyonce Lemonade, her album. Chelsea really showed her growth. Oh, yes. Chelsea really showed her growth internally. And
I love that you were able to identify that.
Yeah, like I said, Chelsea, like I told you before we, have this interview, it's like it hit me. I'm like, why is like Beyonce Lemonade? And again, it's about growth. It's about learning. It's about not just saying moving on, but learning from your past and what you should do in your present. And also remember in her visual music video, Beyonce show of all that she learned, she poured towards now her kids, like your poetry inheritance, you know, everything you go through, all the struggles, and you make lemonade.
It's
So,
called alchemy.
you know,
That's
generation wealth.
that's a big thing for me. Alchemy, alchemizing your pain and turning it into something beautiful.
Exactly.
And that's what Alas is.
Oh, so see, guys, buy her book. Buy her book.
Support Black women.
I'm not getting paid, y'all. I promise you, I'm not getting paid. But no, I do love to support people. I love to support, you know, creators. Oh, what was that, Chelsea?
Oh, I was just saying she's not getting paid. I was just reiterating.
Oh no, I'm not getting. But that's why I love, you know, real quick, guys. This is why I love doing My Way Janelle's blog. Is just, you know, giving people opportunities. I think about the people who would, you know, give me opportunities or want to give me opportunities for, you know, showcasing, you know, crafts and stuff. Just because, I mean, why not? I mean,
Right.
if he sees potential in people, why not give him a hand? You know, that's something I learned, you know. So, but
I
yeah.
appreciate
But
you.
I appreciate you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chelsea. Thank you so much for being part of My Way Janella's blog. Even though I don't have
Thank
lights.
you.
Oh,
I
I
see
was
the
gonna
light.
say
I
there's
see the
light,
light.
but I mean, guys, it's Pluto Aquarius season. I don't know. But thank you, Chelsea, for being part of My Way Janella's blog.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.